Hello everyone, my name is Prashant. Now, welcome back. We will be starting the chapter 1 of the science. The name of the chapter 1 is chemical reactions and equations. Okay, so from today onwards, we are going from the chapter 1, and I hope that you all are going to focus on this chapter. So, what are the main contents of the chapter 1 that comes in the examination? Let's see. Like this activity always comes in this activity, the question is why we rub this portion before burning it. Magnesium ribbon is why it is burned. This type of question is also asked. So to remove the whatever the reactions it has taken in the air, like iron also reacts in the air and form its uh, oxides. So in the same way, magnesium also react with oxygen. It forms oxides. So this is why it is being rubbed so that it cleans up. Okay. So this is why sandpaper is used. And the next question is that dazzling white flame changes into a white powder. Means the color of the dazzling flame is also asked that why this is, and this powder is magnesium oxide. What is this? This is the formation of magnesium oxide. And as I have also told you that it is formed due to the reaction between magnesium and oxygen in the air. So these questions come, and other questions also come in the part of chemical equations, like magnesium plus oxygen reactant. This is magnesium oxide. And uh, firstly, I will discuss what part is more important for you and what is not. And this reactions, you have to learn all the reaction which is given here in the book itself. Like here it is given, like this reaction has been given, and this reaction is very important. I will say, and you have to remember this. This one is the most important reaction here in the book. And types of chemical reactions, you have to also learn that combination reaction is there. And this portion is also, do you know, portion is also important for you. Keep note of it. And talking about the next one, decomposition types of reactions, you have to learn that what is the types of the reaction is here. Okay. And then here is the whole setup of electrolysis of water. In electrolysis of water, there are two, three important questions which comes like, what is happening at the anode portion, what is happening at the cathode portion. These questions come. And China, this AgCl, what happens when AgCl is reacted in when it is kept in the sunlight and reaction takes place. And AgBr also the same way. Silver bromide and silver chloride, both questions comes out. Displacement reaction is there. What happens in displacement reaction? These are all reactions. And let's talk about oxidation reduction. This is what we call it, oxidation and reduction. Both is taking at the same place. Oxidation is happening and so reduction is happening. And what are the observed in the life? And these questions comes like write down what are the effects that are observed in the oxidation reaction in everyday life that happens, like corrosion takes place, corrosion takes place in the iron. And rancidity is there, like fat oil containing food left जो बहुत टाइम के लिए छोड़ते जाते हैं, and then it happens. And other things like what you have learned, this is the whole chapter. So let's get started from the beginning. So we will be starting from this portion, and we will cover till 8 pages today onwards, and then we will move to the next part. Okay. So what is chemical reactions and equations? So first we will know what is chemical reactions. You know, chemical reaction is what, whenever it takes place, it never goes back. Like there is two types of physical reaction and chemical reaction. If physical reaction is there or physically reaction is there, then you can change it out. Means Suppose you are making a aeroplane with the help of the paper, then it is a physical change, because you can unfold the paper and make the paper once again. But what happens that when you lift the milk, suppose the first example is what happens then when you lift the milk, what happens, it turns out to be like it becomes sour in taste because of the reactions takes place. And there is one thing that when milk is converted into the curd, there is bacteria called lactobacillus. So you should remember the name of the bacteria, lactobacillus. It is not important also, but I will just tell you for your information. An iron tawa pan is left exposed to the humid atmosphere, like in the rain. If you have kept, then what happens that it turns out to be something like brownish, or you can see that in when you go in the marriage party, if you have seen that they have lots of utensils, and whatever iron utensils you can see that in between they have some brownish patches are there. This is due to the reactions that has taken place because of humidity, because of waters left out. Grapes get fermented, food is cooked, food gets digested in our body, and we respire. These all are the chemical changes. Suppose when comes questions comes that what are the examples of chemical reactions in 2 marks. So when you give the examples, these examples like milk left at a room, food is cooked, food get digested in our body, then you get more marks because the teacher see that you have read the book. Okay, let's move on. And in all type of reactions, the nature and the identity of the initial substance have somewhat changed. We have already learned. These are the things that you have already learned, and this is one of the experiment that is always shown in the classrooms also, that you have to take out the magnesium ribbon, and you have to just see it how it burns. So what happens that when you there is activity, when you get the magnesium vapor, then you get the sandpaper. Sandpaper is used because you have to remove all the dirts, like oxidations has taken place, and this reaction has taken place. So when this reaction takes place, then magnesium is not able to burn because of the oxides present out, and due to this we rub it and we clean it. After cleaning this, magnesium is burnt in with the help of a burner, and burner is always tilted because what happens that if you don't tilt this burner, it may sometimes happens that this flame comes out to your face, so you will burn out. So to protect the persons doing the experiment, this is done. So burner is kept away. When you kept burner away and you just burn it out, it burns with a white flame. This is the most important question, as I have already told you that it burns with a white flame, and it converts into a white powder is there, as you can see here, watch glass white powder. This white powder is magnesium oxide. Okay, so this is important activity, you should know about it. And now let's take another example, that and here few zinc granules means what you called it, broken zinc means in Hindi it is called pieces, you can say in English. So in the conical flask, and you have zinc, and here you have dilute H2SO4, means it is not concentrated, means it is not very in much amount, the concentration is not very much. Okay, so dilute sulfuric acid is taken and there is conical flask, and you observe the changes. So from this activity you see that there is a change in state, there is change in the color, evolution of gases. H2 gases is here, you can see, and a change in the temperature. So these are the properties what happen, like if questions come, what happens when chemical reaction takes place. So you have to write all these things, that when chemical reaction takes place, change in state takes place, change in color takes place, evolution of gas, change in temperature. So remember these 4 points that you have to write. Okay, let's take the chemical equations right now. So how how we write the chemical equations? Okay, so we write down the chemical equations, as you can see here, that chemical equations can be described that first portion in the left version is where we write reactants, means whatever the reactants you have taken, मीन्स जो रिएक्ट कर रहे हैं चीज़ें, जो रिएक्ट कर रही हैं चीज़ें उनको पहले लिखते हैं, बाद में प्रोडक्ट जो बन जाता है लास्ट में जो बनता है उसको लिख देते हैं। सो इन द फर्स्ट एग्जांपल आपने देखा कि यू हैव टेकन मैग्नीशियम, यू हैव टेकन मैग्नीशियम एंड मैग्नीशियम इज बर्निंग इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ ऑक्सीजन। In air there is lots of gases, but oxygen is the only driving force which burns everything. Okay, so oxygen, magnesium plus oxygen gives out magnesium oxide. So firstly we are just writing out in the word form, then we will learn it in the symbol form also. Okay, so here writing the chemical equation in the symbol form, magnesium is denoted by Mg. Okay, magnesium is denoted by Mg. In ninth you have done this, and oxygen is denoted by Mgo. O2, and this product comes out to be magnesium oxide. This is denoted as MgO, magnesium oxide. So this is here. So this is the skeleton of, means skeleton means how this is written. This is not balanced equation because there you can see Mg portion is 1 and O2 is 2 twice. So but here it is not in twice form. So we will just manage it. So next question, next thing we have learned that zinc and H2SO4 was reacted. So zinc plus H2SO4 gives out zinc sulfate and hydrogen. So what happens? Zinc replaces hydrogen because zinc is more reactive than hydrogen. So it replaces zinc. Zinc is more reactive than hydrogen, so it replaces hydrogen and it goes out. Hydrogen goes out, and zinc is associated with sulfur, and it makes sulfur oxide and makes it zinc sulfate. So Zn H2SO4, and here it reacts and gives out ZnSO4 plus H2O. Okay. Let's try another example. What happens that when iron reacts with this water, means in the presence of water, when you like in humidity, when you keep it, it gives out Fe plus H2 reacts with Fe3O4, ferrous oxide. Like here it is shown that whenever the iron is reacting, it is giving ferrous oxide, and this comes out to be the resultant. Okay, there are two oxides of there are two ores of iron like and the ferrous oxide and ferric oxides are there. So I will tell you later how to remember all these things. So to balance this, how you do it, firstly you write Fe, then H, then whatever the elements are there you write it, and number of reactants means there is one part, and H2 is two part, and oxygen is one part. So you have to balance it. So mm, now you have to write the product part, that this is three part, this is two part, this is four part. So you can see that here when you multiply 1 by 3, you comes out to be in the 1 into 3, this is 3, and this is already 2, there is no problem, but this is 4, so you have to multiply by 4. In this way you have to balance it. Okay, so you balance it like here you multiply by 4, you firstly do it for the hydrogen, then you multiply here by 4, and when you multiply by 4 it comes out hydrogen comes out to be 8 part. So what you do here, you multiply by 4 also. So you can see in the next step here it multiplies by 4 also here to balance the hydrogen. Then oxygen is already balanced because it is 4, it is 4. Now you have to multiply by 3 in Fe. So here it is multiplying by 3. Next portion you can see here it multiplies by 3. So it multiplies by 3 and gets balanced out. This is the balanced chemical reaction. So you know the result, means you are aware of the result that this will come, but you have to do it step by step because the marking is done on the step by step basis. Suppose you do all the step but you cut it and write the final result, then you will get lesser marks. So avoid doing these things. You have to do it step by step because teacher does not know that how you have arrived this portion. So you have to make sure that you just reflect all the things here out, and then move on the and next questions. Okay. So all these things are there, and suppose this is all the things are written out that Fe is in solid form, this is in gaseous form, because water is in humidity, means in vapor form you can consider it out. And Fe3O4, that is generated on the top of the iron pieces, this oxide, ferric oxide, this is there, and this is hydrogen gas is there. Okay. And the most important portion that I have told you, that this reaction is always coming in the examination, that what happens that when CO2 and water reacts in the presence of sunlight in the chlorophyll, then you see that here glucose is formed, oxygen is released, and water is released. So they ask that in what quantity oxygen is released, means it is twice of water or half of water, in quantity. Suppose you are given here 12 H2O, then 6, half of the oxygen is released. So in this way this also questions come, so you should remember this, that these are the things that comes out as a result of CO2 reacting in H2O in the presence of sunlight in chlorophyll. Okay. So these are the things, like you, why should a magnesium ribbon is cleaned before burning. So these are the things we have discussed out. And now we are going to discuss about the types of chemical reaction. So today we will be discussing about the combination reaction. Okay. So what is combination reaction? Combination reaction name, as the name suggests, that this is a combination. It means two things are combining. Okay. So here whenever you are going to see it, calcium oxide react vigorously with the slaked lime, and it releasing a large amount of heat. So this is the property of a combination reaction, means in each and every reaction there, it sometimes it happens that heat is not vigorously released, but in this reaction you can observe, when you touch the container you see that it is quite heated. So slaked lime is formed here. Quick lime, so this is a common name for COA. COA is also, calcium oxide is also called quicklime. So you should remember it. COA, quicklime. And H2O, when it reacts with H2O, then slaked lime is formed. Okay, slaked lime is formed. Quicklime means, it is called sukha chuna in Hindi. So quicklime is there, and when you react with water, it is formed slaked lime. Okay. So this is the example of yeah, combination reaction. You have to just learn it out, because these questions come. And there is one more thing. What happens when slaked lime, this CaOH, is reacted with CO2? Then it forms calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate, CaCO3 and H2O. And this is the CaCO3 is the formula of marble. Marble you have seen, like in Taj Mahal you have seen the marble. This is CaCO3. Okay. So remember this, CaCO3 is called calcium. So first reaction is CaO reacting with CH2, then it is forming slaked lime. Then slaked lime is reacted with CO2, means carbon dioxide, it is forming calcium carbonate. Okay. Now learn more examples of combination reaction, like burning of coal. In coal what happens? Coal is carbon. Carbon is reacting with oxygen. This is forming CO2. CO2, you know it. It is a gas. Okay. And forming of water, what happens when H2 reacts with O2? It forms H2O. You have to balance it out, because here it is 2 and here it was 1, so you multiplied by 2, and what happens? Hydrogen portion becomes 4, so you have to also multiply here by 2. So this is how it has simply done. So remember all these examples. Burning of natural gas, like methane is there, CH4 is called methane. You need not to learn about the names, but you will come out to know it about. And you know, reaction in which heat is released along with the formation of the products are called exothermic, and when heat is not released, it is called endothermic. Exo means it comes. Exo means out. It can, so heat comes out means exothermic, and thermal means heat. So exothermic. CH4 plus O2 gives out, this react with oxygen, methane react with oxygen, it gives out carbon dioxide and water. This is what happening here, CO2 plus H2O. Okay, and as I have already told you about this portion also, that when glucose react with oxygen, it forms CO2, H2, and energy is released here. Okay, this is what here written, that in chapter 6 we will also discuss about this. Okay, so we will be discussing more about this. Okay, so today we have discussed about the combination reaction only. So next part we will be discussing later on. Thank you very much for watching. I hope we helped you out and you learned a lot. And please write down in comment whatever the issues you are facing, and if any improvement or if anything need to be done more, so I will do it accordingly. Thank you very much.